together. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama, 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 Jaya Jaya Giribar Raja Kisori, Jaya Mahesa Mukha Chanda Chakori, Jaya Gaja Badana Shadanana Mata, Jagat Janani Damini Duti Gata, Nahi Tava Adi Madhya Avasana, Amita Prabhav Bedu Nahi Jana, Bhava Bhava Vibhava Parabhava Karini, Vishwa Vimohani Swabasa Biharini, Pati Devata Sutiya Mahum, Matu Prathama Tavarekham, Mahima Amitana Sakahi Kahi, Sahasa Saradasesham, Sevatato hi sulabha phalachari, Baradayani purari piyari, Devi puji pada kamala tumhare, Suranar muni sab ho hi sukhare, Mora manorathu janahu nike, बसहु सदा उर पुर सबही के, कीन्हेउ प्रगटन कारण तेहि, अस कहि चरण गहे वैदेहि, विनय प्रेम रस भई भवानी, खसी माल मूरति मुसुकानी, सादर सिय प्रसादु सिर धरेउ, बोली गौरी हरषु हिय भरेउ, सुनु सिय सत्य असीस हमारी, पूजिहि मन कामना तुम्हारी, नारद बचन सदा सुचि साचा, सोबरु मिलिहि जाहि मनुराचा, मनु जाहि राचेउ मिलिहि सोबरु, सहज सुंदर सावरो, करुणा निधान सुजान सीलु, सनेहु जानत रावरो, एहि भाति गौरीयसी, ससुनि सिय सहित हिय हर्षियलि, तुलसी भवानी पूजि पुनि पुनि, मुदित मन मंदिर चली, तुलसी भवानी पूजि पुनि पुनि, मुदित मन मंदिर चली, जानि गौरी अनुकूल, सियहि हर्षु न जाई कही, मंजुल मंगल मूल, बाम अंग फरकन लगे, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय, श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahmavitvaram Satgurum Brahmavitvaram. Om Shri Chinmaya Satgurave Namaha. 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 7th through 9th verse. Sarva Bhutani Kaunteya Prakrutim Yanti Mamikam Kalpakshaye Punastani Kalpadau Visrujamyaham Prakrutim Swamavashtabhya Punah Punah Bhutagramamimam Krutsnam Avasham Prakrutirvashat Nacha Mam Tani Karamani Nibadhnanti Dhananjaya Udasina Vadasinam Asaktam Teshu Karmasu. Bhagavan is mentioning different facets of nature of Ishwara and creation. We had seen in Vedanta, God is introduced to us at different levels. And thorough study of Vedanta is such where we get clarity about all these levels. The essential nature of God is pure consciousness. That is the first way in which God is introduced. Although it is not introduced on day one, this is where our scriptures want us to go. Consciousness with total conditioning, consciousness with Maya conditioning becomes Saguna Ishvara. Still there is no form yet. There is consciousness and total conditioning, no particular form. All forms are God's form. That is the second introduction of God. The third facet of Bhagavan is a particular form which is sweet to worship, which we call as Avatara. So Bhagavan Krishna, Bhagavan Rama, Devi's form, all of them are avatars of the same consciousness. Pure consciousness with Maya Upadhi becomes ruler of this entire creation. That same Ishvara chooses to appear in one form. That we call as Avatar. So for us to connect with that formless Ishvara, what is the easiest place? The form of the Lord. Sakasya na stotavyaha. Arvachina pada, which is there, your beautiful form as Lord Shiva, Shivamahimna Stotram. One verse comes which says, whose mind will not go towards your beautiful form. But having connected with one form, having connected with Bhagavan's Swabhava, in one form, what does Bhagavan teach us? How should our conduct be? How to love God through His attributes. His Swabhava. Having connected to His Swabhava, we should graduate to Prabhaava. Prabhaava means power of the Lord. And having seen the Prabhaava, Bhagwan leads us to Anubhava. Anubhava is to understand our essential oneness with God. What is God's essential nature? Consciousness. What is Jiva's essential nature? Also consciousness. This is the culmination of the devotional journey of a sadhaka. The reason we discuss these three levels is, in Bhagavad Gita we start from second level. Ekarupa Ishwara or Avatara of Ishwara is not elaborated much. Bhagwan is giving the teaching, that is all we know. No leelas are elaborated, form of the Lord is elaborated, nothing of that. Direct introduction is in the second level, where Bhagwan is Lord of the universe. How does his lordship express? 7th verse said, Bhagwan is the place of origin and sustenance of this universe. He is the material cause from which this universe emerges. And because he is the material cause, it has to go back into the same material cause. Clay is the material cause for pot. So where does pot emerge from? The clay. If you destroy the pot, where will the pot go back? Into its material cause, clay. Similarly, creation has emerged from Bhagwan. It is sustained in Bhagwan. It merges back into Bhagwan. This point is introductory point of Ishwara. That Bhagwan is origin, place of sustenance, place of dissolution. Then 8th verse, Bhagwan said, Prakrutim swam avashtabhya visrujami punah punah. Keeping my Prakriti under my control, I project this creation repeatedly. Time and again, this creation is projected. Then, bhutagramam imam krutsnam. All these beings, not excluding even one of them, avasham prakruter vashat. Helplessly, they are born under the sway of Prakriti. What was the meaning of avasham that we had seen? 5 kleshas, pancha klesha. Avidya, asmita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha. Do you notice 2 aspects here? The first one is, Bhagwan says, I project creation. Now within this creation there are jivas who get caught up in all these 5 kleshas. Means Bhagwan is saying, the creation which I project, by itself it is not bondage. If you don't live intelligently in this creation, then we get into bondage. One creation is Ishwara Srishti. Mountains, rivers. By themselves, they don't bind us. But if we have some likes and dislikes in that creation, then that creation becomes a bondage. So the bondage that we create is called as Jiva Srishti. All these 5 panchakleshas which are there, that is called as Jiva Srishti. Contribution of Jiva to Srishti. What is Ishwara Srishti? The nature that Bhagwan projects, the beautiful things in this creation, that is Ishwara Srishti. Ramakrishna Paramhamsa introduces this in a slightly different way, but it helps clarify the point. He says Maya is of 2 types. One Maya is Vidya Maya, second Maya is Avidya Maya. One is Vidyamaya, second is Avidyamaya. What is Vidyamaya? That which is projected by the Lord. That which is Trigunatmika, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. That is called as Vidyamaya, which brings about this creation. What is Avidyamaya? He says Avidyamaya is our own erroneous notions in this creation. In Ramcharitmanas, it is given in a very sweet way. Main arumora torate maya. I am this person, this is mine. You are different from me, that is yours. This notion is called as Maya. Main arumora torate maya. Now see this distinction, me and you, we will need it for transactions. We cannot do our vyavahara without using the phrase I and yours. But see, functional usage and problematic usage are two different things. Functional usage and problematic usage. See, for example, language. Different parts of the country will have different language. Now the beauty is that language will encourage its own culture. There will be so much literature in it. And if somebody asks you, what is your mother tongue? What will you say? Whatever language. This is my mother tongue. Now until this point, it is transactional I and mine. When does it become problematic? When we say our mother tongue is better than some other mother tongue. Our language is better than your language. Country also cannot run without states. For efficient administration, we need states. So if somebody asks which state you belong to, you will say we belong to A or B state. Now this is functional I and mine. What is problematic I and mine? I am better because I belong to this state. So transactional classification, if you are not alert, that slowly transfers into problematic classification. That mindset is called as avidyamaya. So state by itself is not a problem, classification is not a problem. Misunderstanding that classification could be a problem. Puja Guruji gives a good example. He says, you know how our mindset should be? When we go in a flight, if somebody asks us, which is your seat? What do we say? Whatever, 10A, 10B. We say, this is my seat. Even though we say it is my seat, after the flight is done, we don't take the seat along with us. You say it is mine, but it is purely transactional. Similarly, the things that we own, when we say these are mine, if you can remember clearly that it's only a transactional statement, not absolute, then this jiva will not fall in the cycle of 5 kleshas, pancha kleshas. Then the 9th verse said, although Bhagwan is projecting this creation, he is not affected by anything in this creation. Why is that? Because he is the pure self, he is the substratum of creation, doesn't get involved. He only lends existence to creation as Sat and Chaitanya as Chit. mind and intellect of every jiva decides what actions they have to do. Ahankara decides what action jiva has to do. So results come back to Ahankara only, not to Chaitanya. What was the main message in this verse? Just like Bhagavan is unattached by his actions, if jiva discovers his nature to be pure consciousness, that jiva also will be unaffected by the actions. But you have to add one fine clause there. This knowledge will work only for that person who does good actions. Remaining witness of actions is possible only when our actions are good. Now in the 10th verse, Bhagavan gives similar idea but in a different way. Maya dhyakshena prakrutihi suyate sacharacharam hetunanena kaunteya jagadviparivartate. Maya dhyakshena prakrutihi suyate sacharacharam hetunanena kaunteya jagadviparivartate. Prakrutihi sacharacharam suyate. Prakriti gives birth to this entire universe, moving and unmoving, both. But can Prakriti alone give rise to this creation? Bhagavan adds one more word. Maya dhyakshena. Adhyaksha, literal translation is chairperson. If a committee is there, what does a chairperson do? Sakshi matra. He will set all the agendas, points to discuss, but not fully involved. Bhagavan says, that is how I run this creation. I am the substratum of creation. In my presence, Prakriti functions. What will happen if Adhyakshata is not there? What will happen if consciousness is not there? See, consciousness always goes with three adjectives. Sat, Chit, Ananda. Existence, consciousness, bliss. So if you say existence is not there, what is the opposite of existence? Non-existence. So Prakriti doesn't have its own existence. If Sat is not there is no question of going to the second step. First, Prakriti has to exist. Then it has to derive sentiency. Then function. So, Maya Dhakshena Prakriti. In my presence alone, Prakriti brings forth this universe. When Bhagavan Krishna is saying Maya, whom is he referring to? Vasudeva Putra or Shuddha Chaitanya? Shuddha Chaitanya. So Maya, don't take it as a person. Maya means in the presence of consciousness, Prakriti does whatever it has to do. Hetuna anena kaunteya jagat viparivartate. Because of this reason alone, because consciousness is enlivening Prakriti, the entire universe, modifying universe is brought forth. Hetuna anena kaunteya jagat viparivartate. This whole universe modifies because of the presence of Purusha, because of the presence of consciousness. There are some applied facets to this. We had seen this earlier also. whenever we see Prakriti, if we see only Prakriti, there is no divine vision in that. If we see Prakriti enlivened by Purusha, that is divine vision. And instead of starting with nature as Prakriti, we can start with this body. If somebody is a dancer, when it is said, offer your dance to God, how should one think from a spiritual lens? Where is God involved in my dance? The ability to move doesn't belong to the body. Body is inert because it belongs to Prakriti. The one who is enlivening this body is the Lord. One who is giving me the ability to dance is Bhagavan. Therefore, this dance I am offering it back to him. Your own gift, I am offering it back to you. Remember the statement Puja Guruji had made? Artist doing art is good. But the main question is, who is in the heart of the artist? And he said, what is the spelling of heart? H-E-A-R-T. Spelling of art? A-R-T. So when he is in the heart, art becomes divine. This is the same philosophy, but see how beautifully it is put. When he is in the heart, that art becomes divine. Minus he, art is inert. Minus an altar to offer, Prakriti by itself cannot do anything. This is one applied facet. Prakriti belongs to the Lord. He enlivens this Prakriti. Therefore, whatever I do is offered to the Lord. Second facet is, see, our life is such, we will need something in this Prakriti. Nobody can say, I don't want anything. See, body itself is part of Prakriti. This body will need something from totality or not? It will need. So many needs might be there in life. Whatever needs we have, not 99%, 100% of those needs are needs from Prakriti. Will we have need for consciousness? No, because it's already attained. What will we need? Something that we don't have. If you already have it, there is no need to ask for it. So Prakriti is where all our needs will be. So if our needs are in Prakriti, whom should we ask from? The owner of Prakriti. That is Bhagavan. This point in Sundarkanda is shown in Hanumanji's conduct. We know the story. Hanumanji went to give the ring to Sitaji. He gave the ring. Until then he was okay. Then he started feeling hungry. He said, my job is done now. Now I am feeling hungry. And he tells Sitaji, can I eat the fruits in Ashok Vatika? Sitaji says, those Vanaras, they are very, strong Vanaras. Not Vanaras, Rakshasas. They are very strong. Hanumanji says, I am not worried about them. You should not be hurt. You give me permission, I will go and eat. Now somebody said, whom did the Vatika belong to? Ashok Vatika was Ravana's. And whom did Hanumanji take permission from? Sitaji. Vatika belongs to somebody, permission was taken from somebody else. He said he took the permission from the right person. Hanumanji says, you are Jagat Janani. This whole universe belongs to you, Prakriti belongs to you. And this little Vatika, Ravana things belongs to him. So if I need anything from Prakriti, I should ask from the right person. See, when we are introduced to God from His Prabhaava, these are the applied points. When we are introduced to God as Avatara and Swabhava, points will be different. In Bhagavad Gita, when it is said, Bhagavan is the ruler of Prakriti, what it means is this. Now this point, Mayadhyakshena Prakritihi, in my presence, everything functions. There is one chapter in Panchadashi where a metaphor is given. And the metaphor is of a theatre lamp. This week and next week, Balotsav is going on. So you can meditate on this metaphor. Vidyananda Swamiji says there is one theatre lamp which is illumining. Then there are different dancers on the stage. Then there are musicians. There is audience who is sitting in front. And there is a chief guest. So he maps each person to one aspect of spiritual thing. So he says the dancers are the thoughts of the mind, intellect. The people, the musicians who are there, that another metaphor he gives. Sense objects, they are the musicians. Sense organs are the musicians. Then the audience is there, they are sense objects. Then the chief guest, he says, is the ego, ahankara. The whole performance is happening for ahankara. And finally he says, the one who is illumining everything is the theatre lamp, Sakshi. Just like Sakshi illumines the entire play, consciousness illumines the play of Prakriti. In the presence of theatre lamp, whole play goes on. But look at the beauty. Huh? If the play is very good, we don't congratulate the lamp. And if somebody forgot the line, lamp is not blamed. Then you say, okay, anyway the lamp is not doing much, turn off the lamp. Play will stop right there. So in presence of the lamp, everything works. Lamp is not affected by what it is illumining. And if you remove the lamp, nothing can work. He says that is Sakshi. That is consciousness, in whose presence entire Prakriti functions. But modifications of Prakriti, good and bad things in Prakriti, don't come to consciousness. And if you remove consciousness, Prakriti cannot exist. Functioning is next step. It cannot even function, it cannot even exist. Mayadhyakshena Prakritihi. Another example which Gurudev has given, when people ask the question, if God is in every being, why do bad things happen? His answer was, God is like gas in the car. Where the car will go depends on the driver. If he reaches his destination safely, you need the gas, but one who took the person to the destination is the driver. And if he decides to stray away from the path, you cannot blame the gas. The one who is to be blamed is the driver. So who is driver in this example? Mind and intellect, ahankara. Good choices, good result. Erroneous choices, erroneous results. Bhagavan says, I only enliven both. I don't dictate which choice we should make. So now from 7th to 10th verse, what was the main topic? Lord's nature and creation. What all things have been said? Essential nature of God is consciousness. This is the first point about God's nature. Same consciousness with Maya Shakti, Prakruti, is called Ishwara. Consciousness wielding Prakruti is called Ishwara. Then keeping Prakruti under control, Bhagavan projects this creation repeatedly. But in spite of projecting, he is not affected by creation. That point was also mentioned. And the last point was, this entire creation is enlivened by God, and if we want something, we should ask it from Him. Maya Dhyakshena Prakritihi Suyate Sacharacharam. Now 11th and 12th verse, what was the topic? Erroneous notions about Bhagavan and their consequences. What are some erroneous notions? You see the 11th verse. Avajananti mam mudhaha manushim tanumashritam param bhavamajanantah mama bhutamaheshwaram avajananti mam mudhaha manushim tanumashritam param bhavamajanantah mama bhutamaheshwaram. Bhagavan is little upset in this verse. Param bhavam ajanantah. Read the second line. We said there are 3 levels of understanding God, right? One is as avatara, second is as ruler of this universe, third is as pure consciousness. Which is param bhava? Pure consciousness. Only when we know 3, we will appreciate what is greater. Out of these 3, param bhava, the deeper facet is Bhagavan's essential nature is consciousness. Not knowing this, param bhavam ajanantah. What do people think? Manushim tanum ashritam mam avajananti. They think I am an ordinary human being. Just like other jivas, I am also a jiva. Who is saying this? Bhagavan Krishna. Others think I am also a jiva, maybe a good jiva. You will hear this. You say, I don't have any problem in saying, we have to say Bhagavan Rama only, no? We can't say just the name. I don't have any problem in saying Bhagavan Rama was a great person. They will say, I won't accept, he was God. So Bhagavan says, Manushim tanumashritam. Think of me as a mortal being. Avajananti. Jananti means no. Ava means to disregard. Bhagavan says they are disregarding me by not knowing my essential nature. What does he call them? Favorite word, mudaha. Mudaha. Now remember, who is this person who is being referred to here? He is not somebody who is walking on the path of Karma Yoga. Because Karma Yoga means we need faith in God. Karma Yoga is not an independent path. Bhakti and Karma Yoga go together. And once you step on the path of Bhakti, you take any text. Tell me one example, devotional text. Purana, Bhagavatam. In Bhagavatam, they will make sure that our understanding of God doesn't remain only at one level. Creation will be described, and they will say, this has come from Lord Krishna. Then they will take us to the later step. Akhila Dehinam Antaratma Druk Nakhalu Gopika Nandano Bhavan. You are not only son of Yashodaji, but you are that witness which illumines all the minds. So this person is not somebody who is a karma yogi or a bhakta. He is not even somebody who is walking on the path of knowledge. One who is walking on a path which is different from these three. That person is referred here as Modaha. If you are on either three path, it's only a matter of time we will get the right perspective. You pick up any text, Ramcharitmanas you pick up. Goswamiji describes the beauty of Lord Rama. But right in the next chaupai he will say, don't think he is a human being. He is acting like a human, but he is not a jiva. All stutis you will find Nirguna Swarupa, Saguna Swarupa and Avatara. So if you want an introduction of this person, because the word Muda is used, which text you should refer? Bhaja Govindam. Very good. What is the first verse? Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Mudhamate, Samprapte Sannihite Kale, Nahi Rakshati Dukrun Karane. One who thinks secular knowledge alone is goal of life. One who thinks there is no need for God. There is no need for spirituality. That person, Bhagavan says, is inviting lot of sorrow. Sorrow is not to scare somebody, and say, unless you believe in God, there will be sorrow. Not in that way. Next verse, Bhagavan explains logically what happens when we have faith and what happens when we don't have faith. So if we have faith and we are following the religious life properly, holding on to values, it will save us from lot of trouble. And minus faith, if we rely only on this mind, only on desires, only on ego, we never know when we will be led astray. Look at the next verse. He gives more clarification there. Moghasha mogha karamanaha moghajnana vichetasah rakshasi masurim chaiva prakrutim mohinim shritaha moghasha mogha karamanaha moghajnana vichetasah rakshasi masurim chaiva prakrutim mohinim shritaha. In spiritual topics, the best way to analyze is to look at one's own experience. If you try to analyze this verse from somebody else's life, we'll incorrectly analyze it. So how should we think about these verses? Whenever our mind has lost importance for spirituality, whenever our mind feels there is no need for God, that mind ends up in trouble. Pratyaksha anubhava we should get of Atma and also of these things. Pratyaksha anubhava means first-hand experience. So here Bhagavan says, those who don't feel the need for God, those who feel only material things are good enough. What is their journey like? 3 words he uses. Moga asha, moga karmanaha, moga jnanaha. If you want to understand these words, bring that moga jnana first. So how will it read? Moga jnanaha, mogasha, and moga karmanaha. Mogha means futile. Mogha means futile. Amogha, not futile, means perfect. Have you heard Bhagwan Rama's arrow? They say Amogha Bana. Amogha Bana means only one arrow he keeps. Never misses the target. So Mogha means opposite of that which is futile. So 3 things become futile for them. Knowledge, wants, and results of knowledge. Moga asha or moga jnana, moga asha, and moga karmana. Moga karmana you can say actions also. So their knowledge is in vain, their desires are in vain, and their actions go in vain. This sequence, if you have to understand, we have to appreciate another point. They say whatever things we do in life, they are in 3 steps. First is called as Jnana Shakti. You know about something. Second is, we desire that thing, Ichha Shakti. You plan for it. And third one is Kriya Shakti. We act upon it. Anything, any plan that has to be done, 3 things will be there. Today is Mother's Day, right? Happy Mother's Day to all of you. First, Jnana Shakti should be there. You should remember today is Mother's Day. Then Ichha Shakti. What should you do for lunch? Third is, we actually go. If you keep planning and don't go, that is not completion. First we know, then we desire, then we do. Now Bhagavan says, if our knowledge is erroneous, what desires we will entertain? Erroneous desires. If we have erroneous desires, how will be our actions? Erroneous actions. See, spiritual person, devotional person, devotee, what is his knowledge? True fulfillment in life will not come from sense objects. True happiness and fulfillment will come through God. This is right knowledge. What will be opposite of it? Fulfillment will come from sense objects alone. And there is no need for God. This is the meaning of the word Mogha Jnana. Mogha Jnana means erroneous knowledge, that knowledge which is leading us towards futility. If that is the knowledge, what will be desires? desires for sense objects. And if desire is strong, and some rules don't allow us to fulfill those desires, what will this person do? He will not hesitate to break the rules. That is why the next line has come, Rakshasim Asurim Chaiva. Prakrutim Mohinim Shritaha. If desire is erroneous and it is very strong, person will not hesitate to bend, break the rules. Person who breaks the rules to fulfill desires is called what? Rakshasa and Asura. Commentators are wonderful, They say two words mean different. Rakshasa means different, Asura means something else. Who is an Asura? One who wants to satiate sense organs at any cost. Asushu ramante iti asuraha. Asushu means sense organ. Doesn't matter what happens, he wants his object. Who is a Rakshasa? One who doesn't hesitate to cause harm to others to get what he wants. He said that is a Rakshasa. So Asuri Vritti is more focused on sense gratification. Rakshasi Vritti is not only sense gratification, but doesn't hesitate to cause harm. He says that is a result of Moga Ichha, Moga Asha. Such kind of desires, they go in vain. And he might think with sense objects I'll be happy, but he has never found it. Never found that happiness. That is why it is called as Moga Asha. And the last one is Moga Karmanaha. Without faith, with erroneous knowledge, erroneous desires, whatever actions he does doesn't help him be joyous and peaceful. Because why did he start doing all this? To be happy. And after doing everything, he realizes except happiness, several other things are there. We are going to pause for summer, so let us not stop at this verse. Next verse we will read. Who are the right people? Mahatmanastu mam partha Daivim Prakruti Mashritaha Bhajantyananya manasaha Nyatva bhutadim avyayam Mahatmanastu mam partha Daivim Prakruti Mashritaha Bhajantyananya manasaha Nyatva bhutadim avyayam. Those people who are Mahatmas means whose mind has become beautiful. Noble-hearted people, those who think of others, not only their needs and desires, think about something which is beyond them. What do? Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakriti mashritaha. They take shelter in my daivi prakriti. Good qualities and values. Having taken shelter in that, bhajanti ananya manasaha. With a single pointed mind, firm faith in God, nyatva bhutadim avyayam. Having known Bhagwan's nature, they worship Bhagwan. What is Bhagwan's nature? Verse 7 through 10. What was elaborated before is Bhagwan's nature, one who is Lord of Prakriti. They worship the Lord in this form. So we'll pause here. Wishing you all a very happy and a safe summer with your families. If you get a chance, I would say the chapters that we have covered, 7th, 8th, and 9th. We should try to go over them systematically. Different points which we saw. And along with that, I had mentioned yesterday also, having some good spiritual routine. If we don't have it, we have to start one. If you already have it, we have to strengthen it. What is the way of strengthening it? Ananya manasaha. Wholeheartedly, with a single pointed mind, doing that sadhana. And we don't have to look in several places. If we get this question, where should I start? Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi Ji in Upadesha Sara he says, our sadhana should be at 3 levels. One at physical level, one at speech level, third at mind level. Kaya Vang Manaha. At speech level, what is our sadhana? Worshipping Bhagwan every day. Our own Ishtadevata, building that bond with God. So Pujanam is the sadhana at physical body level. And if we say we don't know how to do puja, Shodashopachara, we don't know, then we can chant Shiva Manasa Puja. In the mind we can chant. And if even that is difficult, we can do some Parayanam. Parayanam means chanting. Whatever we know, Hanuman Chalisa, Vishnu Sahasranama, depending on the time that we have. I feel if you want a sustained routine, half an hour is a good time. Total. So 10 minutes of puja, 10 minutes of japa, 10 minutes of meditation. 10, 10, 10. Japa is sadhana at speech level and meditation is sadhana at mind level. If we get more time, you can extend each one. Puja and chanting we can do more. Japa we can do for more time. Meditation we can do longer. But some routine should be there which we can perfect over the summer. Along with that, when we study Bhagavad Gita and Vedanta, the blossoming is even greater. Only study, no sadhana, knowledge doesn't seep in well. Only sadhana, no study, sadhana doesn't get depth. So both we have to try to accomplish and seek Bhagwan's grace for that. Okay. My sincere gratitude to all our sevaks. Every week they do such a wonderful job. It doesn't look I always say, although we are in a high school, it doesn't look like a high school. The altar is beautifully set, the AV system outside, children are in Balvihar, teachers are teaching them, so we can benefit from our study. Okay, so I invoke Gurudev's grace, Bhagwan's blessings on all of us. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.